Arelys Feliciano Sanchez is a postdoctoral fellow at Harvard University. She has engaged in cutting-edge research on diabetes and mental health in the Latino community. But Arelys had to overcome major obstacles. She recalls spending much of her childhood being ferried back and forth between Puerto Rico and the Bronx, and growing up in violent neighborhoods.
I was actually exposed to what drugs were. I'm talking about fights every day when classes came out. I'm talking about my mom having to make sure she would be there to pick us up. And even then, we still got slapped around.
She credits her mother for keeping food on the table.
She had washed dishes, scrubbed floors, washed clothes, whatever she had to do to put food on the table for my brother and I. I knew my mother cried because I would hear her behind closed doors.
Arelys dropped out of school to help support her mother and brother.
7th grade was my last year in education. I went to actually JCPenney, the administration offices. I just had my 13th birthday. And I mean, I was scared like heck inside, but I had to get this job.
Arelys married her boyfriend at just 15 years old. A year and a half later, she had her first daughter.
So it was fine for me to work and bring home the money, but I wasn't supposed to do anything else. So maybe that kind of triggered the need to get the GED.
Arelys, without any preparation and no formal education since leaving school, walked in and sat for her GED exam. She passed with high honors. She then accepted a position with the New York City Housing Authority.
But I was the only Latina. So that meant that everybody that came through the door with problems in the community or applying for housing, I was the one doing the interviews. Here I was doing everybody else's job that had a bachelor's, and they're getting paid for it. And I wasn't even, it was very rarely I would get a thank you.
Her desire to pursue a degree in higher education strained her marriage. She moved closer to her mother and grandmother so they could help her take care of her daughter. She became a case manager for HIV and AIDS, drug addiction, and mental health. She excelled in her new position and received promotions, but Arelys realized she needed a bachelor's degree if she wanted to advance professionally.
I went and took out my retirement funds, my last employment and so forth, handed my resignation, and went and applied to Bronx Community.
She was 39. After earning her associate's degree, she accepted a scholarship for the Biopsychology Honors Program at William Patterson University. Her experience inspired Arelys to pursue a PhD in psychology at Brandeis, which meant leaving behind her family in New York City.
So that was a difficult decision to make, but I knew I wanted to go to school and I wanted to finish.
Arelys was motivated to do research that would directly benefit her community.
One of the problems we have is that research always bases itself in either males and Caucasians. Women are out of the picture. Latinos are out of the picture. But I did a study on the effects of diabetes type 2 in the cognitive processes of Puerto Ricanos.
She was able to gain the trust and the cooperation of people from this community.
Sadly, Arelys's groundbreaking research found an extremely high loss of cognitive ability for Latinos with diabetes. Her findings are expected to have a significant impact on public health policy and diabetes care. Her excellent academic record led the Hispanic Scholarship Fund to award Arelys 4 scholarships.
I had to go for student loans, and that's when I got heavy into debt. So every time I was accepted, through the Hispanic Scholarship, it was a gift from God.
And yet, she's most proud of her family.
I tell everybody, my daughter's a speech pathologist. And then I tell everybody, I'm a grandma at 3. And they all say, we're going to college just like grandma.
For her perseverance as a single mother, who with the support of her family, embarked on an academic career later in life, and is now at the forefront of research on diabetes and the mental health of Latinos, the Hispanic Scholarship Fund is proud to honor Dr. Arelys Feliciano Sanchez as our 2007 Inspirador.